And let's begin this in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu is now taking steps to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy. And to ensure Nigerians get the necessary relief, President Tinubu is requesting for the approval of 500 billion naira as palliatives from the lower legislative chamber of the National Assembly. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, made this known while reading a correspondence from Mr. President earlier today at plenary. He said the 500 billion naira request is from the 819.5 billion naira in the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act.
I write to request the approval of the House of Representatives for the amendment of the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act in accordance with the attached. The request has become necessary in order to, among other things, source for funds necessary to provide palliatives to mitigate the effect of the recent removal of fuel subsidy on Nigerians. Thus, the sum of 500 billion naira only has been extracted from the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act of 819 billion 536 million 937,815 naira only for the provisions of palliatives to Nigerians to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal.
For more on this development, senior economist, SPM professionals Paul Alaje joins us live via Zoom from Lagos. Good to have you join us on the news at 7.
Yeah, good. Thank you so very much for having me.
So we are seeing perhaps the very first move by the president in an attempt to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal. What's your thought on this from an economic standpoint?
Well, what this means is that the president has decided to ensure that the impact and the pains of subsidy removal is to a large extent reduced. Because what seems to be ubiquitous among people, what seems to be common as to what people are saying is that the cost of their transport has increased, a number of things has increased that they did not envisage. So, but you know, with this support, I don't know how government planned yet because we are yet to have the details of the activities of government. So, but if government will help reduce the impact of the subsidy removal, of course, at the end of the day, the pains, especially the poor that are likely affected, the pains on their personal economy, of course, will to a large extent reduce. We are hoping that this will be to directly invest in the life of the poor and the middle class, which to a large extent will reduce the impact they might be having right now.
We've seen attempts, to put in place palliative measures before in the country. For example, in 2012, I think it was, when President Goodluck Jonathan tried to remove the fuel subsidy, he talked about buying buses. And then we also saw palliative measures during the COVID-19 that were, majorly directed at food items. But for you, what would be the best use of this money?
Well, if I talk about what is on the mind and the amount, I would say the amount is too small, but it's a good beginning. Recall that we had $800 million. I don't know if this would be an addition to that or it's completely separate or government would like to use that for something else. We don't have information, so I cannot say authoritatively what this is. So that is why it's good to have more information. But what should we be doing? Everything that we make impact reduce. People are paying more now. What must we do in the short term? To reduce the impact of transport from one location to another, we can use fiscal tools such as reduction in taxes on people that are going to work, those that are working for government, such as also providing support for businesses with the evidence that the business have been able to employ 1 or 2 people, which of course are largely small businesses. So thing we are going to do to support them, which of course may not cost government directly now. Again, we cannot shy away from the fact that there is need for mass transport system in large numbers beyond Lagos State. So all the 36 states of federation, we should target areas where the poor people are living and possibly carry them for next to nothing. or carry them at the cost of fuel only, while government will provide partners with different transport companies that own transport system, or to even partner with a large body such as NURTW or the counterpart of NURTW. It may not be NURTW in places where they are not particularly organized. These must be provided. And for me, these are short-term solutions government need tax to reduce significantly. We have seen the first move by the president where he said he was going to delay implementation of home taxes, is going to hold some tax increases that are supposed to happen earlier this year. So maybe a later year. And we don't know if government will further extend that until the economy comes to a level of balance. As we speak, we're expecting inflation figure in near term to jump above 25%. What it means that 100,000 naira today, by this time next year, we want 75,000. And by the following year, we even want less than 60,000. So, but what must we do
So we have to look at whether short term.
In medium term, government must extend the rail tracks into many places, especially farm producing zone. Government must also ensure that we're able to have abundant supply of food by providing security to Nigeria, and must also use monetary tools to combat inflation. But in doing this, fiscal and monetary authority must come together so that the impact of inflation on Nigeria will be as minimal as possible.
Ms. Alaje, I'm sure there are Nigerians who are watching this and wondering, or following the story and wondering, probably following with skepticism when you look at how palliative measures have gone in the past, whether it was the COVID palliative program or the Shopee program, and then you see the controversy around those kind of projects by government. What necessary monitoring mechanism should be put in place to ensure that, look, those who actually need to get these things to get them?
Well, I think government must go beyond just allowing appointees of government to work. We need everybody that is concerned. And I've said time and again that money removed from subsidy, for instance, or money that is supposed to be removed from subsidies, for instance, government will come up boldly to tell Nigeria this year, maybe 2024, we are supposed to spend extra XYZ amount. We are not going to be sharing it just to the 3 tiers of government, but we want to use them to execute projects that has to do with road, rail, and every other thing that would have affected your cost of transportation. And in doing that, I expect private sector, notable individuals in private sector, in engineering, construction, economists, finance people, also those in government. Because whether we like it or not, if they have done something good, it will count for them. And if it's something bad, we will speak against it. So we need everyone to be involved. But government must earmark, apart from what is in capex of the country's budget, that's capital expenditure. If it is 6.6 trillion naira we are saving every year from subsidy, it should be a special project that we cut across the entire federation, that people will feel the impact directly. But this should be purely capital project for Nigerians.
We're watching how this will play out. Thank you so much for talking to us. Senior economist, SPM Professionals, Paul Alaje.
Thank you so very much for having me.